As we mentioned earlier, it takes a good number of volunteers to make an event like the Ontario Summer Games happen. And for the last year or so, many volunteers have been organizing various committees to look after various aspects of things that need to be done to pull off the games. And Elaine has another one of those people with her, a special guest. Elaine?
Yes, I have with me Jim Coghlan, and Jim is the chairperson of the Ceremonies Committee for the Ontario Summer Games. Quite a few ceremonies have already taken place, some yet to take place. So maybe you could first just update us on the ceremonies that took place last night.
Right. We first of all had a torch run, so that there's a lot of tradition with torch runs, I guess, starting back many centuries ago with the Olympics. And the run was from St. Catharines, which was the site of the last Summer Games, to Peterborough, and that involved two road runners clubs, so it was physically a run from St. Catharines to Peterborough. And that led up to the opening ceremonies and became part of the opening ceremonies, which took place last night. It was really an exciting ceremony to see 2,000 young athletes chanting and hooting and hollering and standing ovations for them. It was very exciting, very exciting. We also had a minister's reception for all the visiting and local dignitaries who were attending the games to officiate.
Why do you think ceremonies like these are important? You put a lot of work into them, you want to make sure that they go off well, but why do you really do them? What's the importance?
Well, I guess the real reason the kids are here is to compete and do well in their athletic endeavors, but it really provides a fitting beginning and end, I guess, to their what could be probably their one chance to compete at this level. And it's the opening ceremonies, for instance, is the only time that all the athletes get together as a group and parade before their families and friends and public.
There was a lot of public there yesterday, a lot of families, and I'm glad that a lot of families were able to watch on our coverage too, because it's important if they couldn't make it down. What are the ceremonies left then before the end of the events?
Well, we have ongoing ceremonies with medal presentations, and we have quite a number of VIPs lined up to do the medal presentations, and we're getting a great deal of assistance from some local people like the Girl Guides who are holding our medal trays and so on for the VIPs, and all kinds of nice little touches. And then closing ceremonies will take place tomorrow evening at 4:45.
And what's scheduled for the closing ceremonies tomorrow night?
Well, the closing ceremonies are a less spectacular event, really. It's just an official closing of the games, and the chairman of the games, Paul Iyett, will do that. He'll officially close them, and he will then be presented. He doesn't know this yet, but he will be presented with a flag, the official games flag.
Great. He probably knows it now if he's watching our coverage of the Summer Games. Thank you very much. I've been speaking with Jim Coghlan, who's the chairperson of the Ceremonies Committee.
Okay, softball is the next sport we're going to take a look at. We have some more exciting live coverage of a game between Simcoe and Owen Sound. And we're going to be going to the Kinsman Civic Center. And Kevin Varon is standing by. Kevin, you're up to bat.
Fielder William Slott.
Kevin, do you think the...
Kevin Varon here at the Kinsman Civic Park. Owen Sound and Simcoe now playing for the... in this ball game, as we've got a little controversy here at home plate, but in this ball game, it's a 5-5 tie between Owen Sound and Simcoe. Simcoe has used 3 pitchers in this ball game. With me is Pat Thompson, who's the convener of the tournament, Pat, and certainly it's been a hot day here, and it's taken its toll on the pitchers.
Oh, definitely so. You've got Simcoe now on their 3rd pitcher. The use of the rosin badge, which you and I mentioned earlier on, is now by Jay McDonald, is definitely going back to it every time between pitches.
Okay, at the plate is William Slott from Owen Sound. And McDonald comes to a set. And a swing and a miss by William Slott. 5 runs on 8 hits for Owen Sound. 5 runs and 6 hits for Simcoe. As I said, Jay McDonald, the 3rd pitcher for Simcoe. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by William Slott. 2 strikes.
That slingshot action of Jay McDonald seems to have be baffling the batters from Owen Sound.
Coming into this ball game, we expected that the pitchers would be dominating part of it, but it really hasn't been. It's been the hitters, and we've had 2 home runs on a strikeout there now by William Slott, so that's 2 in a row for Jay McDonald here in the top half of the 5th inning. But we've seen 2 tremendous home runs, one by Andy Jackson and one by Garrett Allison, and then Tim Cox hit a triple off the right field fence, and they've the home run by Garrett Allison was well tagged to right field.
Well, he got all of it. The right field just turned around and watched it go.
Third baseman Jamie Moore at bat now for Owen Sound. Takes inside from pitcher Jay McDonald. The score here in the top of the 5th inning is a 5-5 tie, and everybody really felt going into this ball game that this would be maybe a preview of what we could see tomorrow in the final. So certainly a big game for both of these teams. There's a ball hit down just fair inside the left field line, as Jamie Moore with a 2-out single right down the line pad in left field.
Yeah, he took that pitch where it was. He took that ball right where it was pitched from. He was aiming for left field. And he got a piece of it. Also we mentioned it before, the aggressiveness. He rounded first base, slipped down there a wee bit, but there was no throw to first.
All right, Greg Morton now will come to the plate for Owen Sound. As we're saying, we're in the top of the 5th in a 7th inning game, a 5-5 tie. This is a double knockout, so to be knocked out, you have to lose 2 games. As a fake start there by Jamie Moore from first base. But certainly a lot of people now heading for shade underneath the trees here as it's extremely hot. We're in the top of the 5th inning, 2 out, and a runner on first base. Ground ball hit back through the middle into center field. So a single there with a big 2-out hit by Greg Morton moves Moore over to third base. So now Owen Sound with a chance to go ahead here in the 5th inning, top of the 5th inning.
Runners on the corners, 2 out.
Now we're going to see the coach Wayne Baker come out, and we may see our 4th pitcher for the Simcoe team here in this ball game.
Maybe he'll bring back Kitchen in. Who knows?
Dave Kitchen was one of the other pitchers that he used prior to McDonald. Mark Young was the starting pitcher. So 2 singles here in the 5th inning have put runners on the corners with 2 out after McDonald got 2 strikeouts of Wardell and Slot here in the 5th. And really that second one by Greg Morton, Pat, was just a seeing eye single to say the least.
Yeah, well, the ball was surrounded at one time there, and they couldn't put a handle on it.
Big tall first baseman for Owen Sound at the plate, Paul Gousset. And he takes a strike just on the outside corner. Fine pitch by Jay McDonald. Paul Gousset in this game has walked and a solid single and come in to score what is now the tying run in the ball game, and that being in the 4th inning. Simcoe very quickly in the bottom of the 1st got off to a 3-0 lead. Owen Sound got 2 back in the 3rd and 3 in the top of the 4th as we have a ground ball. Again, a seeing eye single. Trapped by the second baseman, but the run does score, so there's the go-ahead run as Jamie Moore comes home. Paul Gousset with another seeing eye single, Pat, and a big RBI to give Owen Sound at this time a 6-5 lead. All started with
identical.
That's right, almost, and exactly right, except this time the ball was trapped but couldn't make a play. But again, a big 2-out hit, and this all started after 2 strikeouts here in the 5th inning. So that will bring Chris Porter to the plate and to face Jay McDonald. But all started with 2 out with 3 singles in a row and 2 of the C&I variety. Really infield hits. But this is
they've done the job on this occasion. The more I've watched it this afternoon, the play at third base at one time, Kevin, with the ball hit down in the dirt, it's spinning. There's dirt on the ball. It's very loose, and the players just can't seem to come up with the ball.
That's right, and it's very hard in the infield. It's dry and it's very hard, and the infielders certainly have had their problems trying to handle the ground balls today, especially the ones hit off the end of the bat or the hard hit ones that are right at you. Chris Porter at the plate facing Jay McDonald of Simcoe. 5-4 lead here in the top of the 5th. There's a ground ball again in the infield to the second baseman. Over to Dave Kitchen at first to end the top of the 5th inning. But a big run for Owen Sound as they pick up a run on 3 hits and leave 2. We've only had really 3 errors in the ball game. We talk about the pitching, but it's been the hitting that's been the important factor in this game. And now as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, a chance now for Simcoe. They scored 3 in the 1st and then 1 in the 3rd and the tying run in the 4th. For Owen Sound, they got 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and now 1 here in the 5th to take a 6-5 lead, Pat.
Kevin, Joe Snyder, the second baseman who will be leading off this inning, looks at the ball after he made the play to first base, and he says, "I got you that time."
We mentioned earlier, maybe for the folks watching up at the track and field events, one of the better pitchers for Owen Sound, David Hay, you might keep an eye on him because he's in the track and field events and also in the javelin throw. And I know Coach Cliff Heffernan would have liked to have him here, and understand he's also an excellent hockey player and a name that we may see in the future, and that's David Hay. He's in the running events up at Trent University, and he's also in the javelin throw up in Trent. So keep an eye on David Hay. The boys here from the Owen Sound team dearly miss him on the mound.
They've only gone through 3 pitchers so far. They're still in the ball game. This never say die attitude of these young ball players is absolutely amazing. Between the heat and the fact that playing away from home and everything on the line more or less.
Okay, we're going to leave you now here from Kinsman Civic Park. Right now, we're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's 6-5. Owen Sound in the lead. Right now, it's Joe Schneider, Todd Jackson, and Steve Craig going to come to the bat for Simcoe. But as we leave you right now, 6-5 in favor of Owen Sound. Now back to Jay.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. You're having fun there following the softball at the Kinsman Civic Center, and we'll be hearing from you as we progress with our games coverage. Girls 80-meter hurdle final. We're going to have a look at that. We go to the track outside here at Trent University. Here's Earl Catchpole.
Here we are back at the Trent track, and we're now running the 80-meter girls hurdle final. And now we're going to go down to Bob Hancock on the track to find out what's happening.
Been waiting for. Val Beckles has twice broken the Ontario juvenile record. She is in here in lane 3. The other competitors include Heather Ing in 1 and Weidman in 2. Val Beckles, it is a false start. Val Beckles, the favorite in this race, who has twice broken the Ontario juvenile record in both the heat and the semifinal from London Western, will be in lane 3. Kim Walterhouse, who was 3rd at the Ontario High School Championships in this event, is running in lane 4 from the South Simcoe Dufferin Track Club. In lane 5 from the Oshawa Legion, she was the Ontario Midget Champion in this event last year, is Suzanne Peroni. And completing the field, Nicole Ho Shing of Kitchener-Waterloo, the Western Region High School Champion in this event. The present Canadian or Ontario record is 12.19 seconds. That is held by Michelle Tate, set last year in Toronto. As we said earlier, Val Beckles of London Western Track Club, running out of lane number 3, has broken that record. First of all, this morning she ran 11.98, and then in the semifinal 11.72, and this is the final. Keep your eyes on Val Beckles of the London Western Track Club running in lane 3. And it is a fair start, and it is Val Beckles right off the bat, along with Kim Walterhouse. Beckles and Walterhouse on the outside is Shung, but it's Val Beckles of the London Western Track Club as she hits the line unofficially 11.46 seconds, and that would absolutely establish a new Ontario juvenile record. Val Beckles of the London Western Track Club, the winner unofficially of the Canada or the Ontario Summer Games. Up to be second was Kim Walterhouse of the Western Region, the South Simcoe Dufferin, a student at Alliston Banting Memorial. So that concludes the 80-meter hurdle final for girls. Unofficially the winner with a new Ontario juvenile record, Val Beckles of London Western, a student at Weeble High School in London, Ontario.
Bob, maybe I could ask you a question just very quickly before we get into the boys and girls finals in the 100 meters. You mentioned a little earlier in today some times and speeds that people were running, and you mentioned wind runs. How much of an effect would the wind have on an athlete? I know today it's pretty still, but how much difference might there be in a stiff breeze?
Well, there's no doubt about it that wind will assist a sprinter. And wind readings are taken in 100 meters, 200 meters, hurdles on the track, along with the long jump and the triple jump. And when there is a wind at their back, it definitely does aid them. And a wind velocity of 2 meters per second is allowable, and anything less than that is allowable. However, anything over is declared wind-assisted, and therefore a record cannot be set if the wind is in excess of 2 meters per second. Now, the wind here today seems to be gusting a little bit. It certainly is not favoring. So that record of Val Beckles, just seen in the hurdles, definitely would not be affected by the wind. It would be a crosswind, if anything.
Okay, thanks very much. We'll be coming back shortly to the track at Trent for the boys and girls 100-meter finals. And now back to J. Murray Jones.
Well, thank you very much, Earl. Some more exciting action out there at the track, and no doubt we'll be seeing a lot of you on the track and field competition the rest of today and tomorrow, of course, when you get into the finals in many, many events. Well, it's a hot weekend. It's an active weekend, and Peterborough is certainly filled with people.
Yes, it is, and it's a hot one for the track and field, as you saw up there. In fact, it's interesting. We had talked about some track and field people heading off to Olympics and to future events. In the track and field events, 2 different athletes who had competed in Ontario Summer Games previous to this competition, Angela Bailey and Julie White, headed off to the Olympics. In water skiing, Judy McClintock is a world tricks champ, and she competed at the Ontario Summer Games at one point.
Well, it's funny you should mention water skiing, Elaine, because that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go to Little Lake. That's where the water skiing is, and Mary Gallup and her crew are standing by with the men's final in the water ski jump.
One position with 21.2 meters.
This is Mary Gallup for the Ontario Summer Games water skiing event. We're here at Little Lake, and I have the official results of the juvenile boys jump. Matthew Reaney was in first place with 25.7 meters. Second place went to Jeremy Kovac at 23.1 meter. Third place went to Doug Ross at 17.7 meters. Now I'm going to turn it over to Joel McClintock. Joel will be describing the next event and the athlete in the competition.
And our next skier on the water will be Andy Jackson, otherwise known as Jumpin' Jackson. Andy is just now waiting momentarily for the water to settle down. In fairness to all the skiers, when we do have water wakes from the boats, we've got to wait and let the water settle. So it'll just be a brief break. This being the veteran men's jumping of the Ontario Summer Games. Jumping off the 5-foot ramp. Maximum boat speed is 32 miles an hour in this division. However, with that maximum boat speed, it does not mean that the skiers are going only 32 miles per hour. In fact, some of these skiers will be accelerating to speeds as much as 40 to 45 miles per hour in their approach to the ramp. And the way they do this, of course, is with their double weight cut. It's much like a slalom cut. It's like a tug of war against the pull of the boat. Skier gets well wide of the boat, turns the skis toward the ramp, and just lays into it with all of their body weight, and they just push right through the wake, continually accelerating, as mentioned, to speeds up to 45, and as a matter of fact, even 50 or 60 miles per hour in other divisions with some of the younger skiers. And, of course, that combined with a good hard kick off the end of the ramp can mean a long, long jump. Should only be a moment here. I see the wake settling out there. Andy Jackson is a veteran in water skiing in more ways than one, not only as far as age goes and categorically speaking being a veteran, but also because he's been around a long time. He's very much involved in organized water skiing. He's pretty much the backbone of the Welland Water Ski Club. He's been skiing since 1977, most of those years in competition. As mentioned, Andy's best jump is 29.8 meters. Of course, if he were to come close to that personal best, he'd certainly push himself into the early lead in the veteran men's jumping here at the Ontario Games. But certainly he would like to establish a personal best, and with ideal conditions out here this afternoon on Little Lake, it's quite possible. We've seen many personal bests already today in the juvenile jumping division. We've seen some great skiing all around. We could not have possibly asked for better conditions. Things working out just very nicely on this wonderful facility. A great day for a great event. going to be just another brief delay as Andy settles down into the water again at the end of the lake. Apparently en route, the judges decided that the water was not in fact settled to make Andy's conditions consistent with that of the other skiers. So in fairness to Andy and any subsequent skiers to follow, there's going to be another short delay as the water settles down.
This is TV Ontario.
Thanks to all of the people involved in making this event happen, and at the moment I'd like to thank specifically the pickup crew, the safety crew, an intricate part, a very important part of the jumping event. These pickup drivers are responsible for the health and safety of the skiers. By that I mean if skiers should have run into problems and have a hard crash. Fortunately, we haven't seen any that caused injury up to this point. But if, in fact, we did have a problem, this pickup crew is in there quickly, and they have some safety equipment in the boat with them. And it's a job that it's a tough task to sit in there anticipating and having to jump right in. And we thank those people for volunteering to be involved. And it looks like Andy is back on the water again. This is the third time that I've announced Andy, actually, with that shuffle of skiers at the beginning. So you've heard a lot about Andy Jackson. He's probably as well known around here as the local skiers now. But Andy Jackson coming now for his first approach at the ramp. This is his first shot at it with a personal best of 29.8 meters. His opening jump is going to be probably a casual, a comfortable approach to get one on the boards, and hopefully, for Andy's sake, what he's thinking is to push past that 21.2 liters mark right now. A good opening jump, a little bit unstable coming into the ramp, but he managed to pull it off, pulled himself together, and skied away. A good opening jump for Andy Jackson. Our leader right now is Neil Saunders. Neil still holding the number one position with 21.2 meters. But as far as Andy's concerned, that's going to be short-lived. That opening jump looked like it would probably be in the neighborhood, if not already pushed past that 21.2 meter mark. We're still waiting for a distance for Andy Jackson on his opening jump. Andy resting up as he returns back. There's quite a long time period as the boat turns around and makes its way back up the boat pattern through the jump course. Gives the skier an opportunity to rest up, and Andy's making full use of that time by pulling the rope up between his legs so that the handle is actually pulling his body weight along, and he's not working his arms at all. It's fairly common to see jump skiers do this, and it is making good use of the time, that rest period out there, because as you can well imagine, there's a tremendous physical strain on the skiers as they make that accelerating pull cutting into the bottom of the ramp, and then the impact of the ramp itself. So the rest is certainly required, and Andy was making the best of it. Well, on the opening jump, Andy Jackson did manage to take the lead. He managed 24.0 meters on that opening jump. Great opener for Andy Jackson, but I doubt he's going to be satisfied with that. He wants to go further. With a personal best of almost 30 meters, he'd like to see another 6 or 7 meters tacked onto that 24. Then he's going forward on this second approach. A bit of trouble off the end of the ramp. Is he going to pull it together? No, I don't think so, but he certainly made every effort to do so. Andy Jackson down and out on jump number 2, but still in the lead with his opening jump of 24.0 meters. Well, let's root him on for this third and final approach, ladies and gentlemen. All the support that you can give Andy, the more the better, because Andy is certainly our top jumper up to this point. He's certainly capable of going further, and we'd like to see him do exactly that. Notice that Andy's in the water with no skis on at the moment. Actually quite difficult to put these jumpers back on sitting while you're in the water. I don't know if you're familiar with the tournament-type bindings. They're what we call high wraps, and they're exactly that. They have wraps that go very high on the ankle and are very snug. A little bit like snow ski boots, actually, except you don't have buckles. You just stretch the rubber and slip right in. Well, Andy's going to have to do that. In order to do that, he's got to get back on the platform. It'll also give him an opportunity to rest up a little bit and take advantage of that 3-minute time allowance that the skiers do have after a fall to get themselves back in shape both psychologically and as far as getting their equipment in order. So Andy Jackson going to make full use of that 3 minutes, casually putting the skis back on. In the meantime, the water will settle down, and Andy will come back for jump number 3 with 24.0 meters behind him on that first jump, now in first place.
This is Mary Gallup, and we've seen to date the slalom event, the tricks, and some of the jumping. We're still continuing with the jumping, and right now we're looking at some of the men's jumping, but we'll be back with you a little later on today to continue with this jumping and find out the results of the finalists for this event.
Well, thank you very much, Mary. Actually, your next report, Mary, I'm looking for you to do one on the water skis. So we'll see how you can handle yourself out there on the water. We'll be hearing more from Mary in the action out at Little Lake, of course. You're watching live television coverage here on TV Ontario through the facilities of McLean Hunter Cable TV. We're here today and tomorrow to bring you live coverage of these 1986 Ontario Summer Games. Men's field hockey, another one of the 15 sports in the games, and we have an update and feature report from Beaver Mead Park on that sport. And here's Ian Armitage.
Thank you, Jay. With me right now is a veteran Canadian team player, Reg Plummer. He's been capped numerous times. I hope he doesn't mind me calling him a veteran player. He's played for the Canadian national team in both Montreal and the LA Olympics. He's presently the coach of the Ottawa team participating today. Reg, how did you pick your team today?
We picked an all-star team. We have players from a number of clubs, and we decided that it would be, for this competition, it would be preferable to have training and pick an all-star team from so all the clubs are represented on the team.
Is there a growth of field hockey in the Ottawa area? Did you have a difficult time picking this squad?
It's always difficult from just an organizational standpoint, but we have certainly have enough kids. The Ottawa region has grown over the years. It began in '69 with just one team, and now we have 3 divisions and about 5 or 6 teams in each division. From age groups going from 13 up to about 65.
I see. Not only in addition to the general summer version of the field hockey, I understand there's also an indoor version played in the winter.
That's right, and it's a great game actually. Field hockey has been criticized, probably correctly, for being rather dull to watch because there are a lot of whistles and it's rather slow. But the indoor game is completely different. It's more like ice hockey or more like basketball, where the game moves very quickly and it's very exciting and there are lots of goals scored. And it's a great game for the kids because, as I say, it's similar to basketball, so they can understand it and pick it up quicker. And it's very good for learning their skills because it's a very skilled game. The skills in field hockey are very difficult to pick up to start with. The stick and the ball are difficult, and the indoor game helps with that.
Do they use the same stakes for the indoor game? Playing on a gymnasium floor, would that be the same, or is there a variation of the stick used there?
There is a variation. You use a lighter stick, and the head is adjusted slightly so that for certain sort of skill reasons, it sort of helps the game. Out here on the heavy grass and so on, you have a heavier stick because you want to hit the ball through the grass. Whereas in the indoor game, of course, there's no friction really. So you use a light stick and you can move the ball around very quickly.
Similar with soccer, the indoor version of the game was played initially as a training exercise, but then developed into a sport by itself. Do you see indoor field hockey coming into the same situation?
Yeah, definitely. That is the hope for Canada, really. In BC, of course, outdoor hockey they can play all year round, and they do. Here, obviously, we have lots of months where we just can't get out on the field, and the indoor game is an exciting game, as I say, and it's as you say, it starts as a training game, but it's turning into a game on its own right.
The team has been quite successful here. Are there any notable players you'd like to mention that's been contributing to this?
Well, we have young Sandy Singh, who's from the Gloucester Club in Ottawa, and he's, I say, he would probably be one of the best players in his age group here. Manoj Gupta is another one who's extremely good, and Justin College has been playing extremely well. Those are 3 of them.
Manoj has scored quite a few goals in this tournament so far.
Yeah, Sandy's a midfield type. He sets people up, and Manoj is very good at just driving for the goal.
Well, we're keeping you from your team. They're presently playing right now, so we'll let you get back to the bench. Thanks very much, Reg. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
With me now is Hamid Khan, who scored 2 goals in an earlier game today. He plays for Toronto, who beat Kitchener 5-0. Hamid, how did you get involved in the game?
Well, my dad one day just told me to go into an indoor field hockey practice, and I went just to satisfy him. And then from there, he told me to go to outdoor from this year, and then I just got started from there.
And how long have you been playing the game?
This is 2 years in indoor, and this is my first year in outdoor.
And do you enjoy the sport?
Oh yeah, it's good. I quit ice hockey for it. I quit everything else for it.
Thank you, Hamid. We'll be back at this location later today with more field hockey and with rugby. This is Ian Armitage from Beavermead.
Thank you very much, Ian. And field hockey, another one of the sports we're learning a little more about. And of course, people have a lot to do with the Ontario Summer Games. Joan Reed Olsen is out and about the streets and the game sites talking to a variety of people with very special interests in these Ontario Summer Games. So Joan, let's have your report.
Involved in the Ontario Summer Games. It's been very difficult to track them down to interview. We did manage to get the chairman early this morning, Paul Ayat, and later this afternoon we managed to get Bob Secord, who in fact is the originator of the Ontario Games.
We started the Ontario Games back in 1970 as a new level of competition for Ontario's up-and-coming amateur athletes, and provide an opportunity for people to get interested in recreational physical activity, and probably most importantly back in those earlier days to choose Ontario's team to the Canada Games. So after we had the games in Peterborough in 1980, we did a complete review of the purpose behind them. And so we decided to change the original objective, holding on to the fact of another level of competition. We no longer select our team to the Canada Games from these events. It gives the community an opportunity to work cooperatively on a major venture. And we asked each sport association who wanted to participate to make a provincial championship out of the age class that they select for the game. So while the objectives have changed, the basic purpose remains the same, and that is the development of amateur athletes. As far as the changes that have occurred over time, obviously the number of sports participating, the performance level of the athletes, and the number of athletes who are coming to the games, having been selected from their various regions and having that performance potential. But I think that from what I've seen here at the 1986 Summer Games, that we're in for a long string of summer and winter Ontario Games.
I think it gives them a chance to show what they can do. Probably if they're going to continue on and maybe someday have that goal of going to the Olympics, I think it's super.
They can come here and compete regularly, as once a year. It would help them, I think, that they have a good competitive spirit, that it's fun, that it would be free from any bias or anything, or any political pressure.
The chairman, Paul Ayat.
Well, Best Ever Programs is a program that's started by the ministry, coincide with the federal program. And what it is a program that's going to lead local athletes, Ontario athletes, on a program that of a higher level of competition that leads to interprovincial championships, Canadian championships, Olympic championships. I think it puts them in the mainstream of a high level of competition. We started about 10 months ago to organize the Ontario Summer Games here in Peterborough. It's been quite a task. With the short time frame, it's been a lot of work compacted into a short time. We require a lot of volunteers, and the community's just been super to come forward and help us. As a matter of fact, they're still walking in the office downtown offering to help at this late stage. As part of the recognition of the volunteers and to make it easy for people, athletes and visitors to the city that need information or need help with a situation, we decided that we would buy a special t-shirt for the volunteers. So we recognized our volunteers by purchasing orange t-shirts and reserving that one color for all our volunteers. We set aside 1,000 t-shirts to begin with, and we've run out of t-shirts. So that's an indication of the support we've received from our community. Well, I think the Summer Games are just a terrific experience for any community. This is our second time hosting the games, and we really look forward to it again this time. It benefits our community from an economic point of view. It helps us build a good base of volunteers that are available in the community for different projects that will better the community in the long run. And projects like this helps to improve our local facilities so that they're better for our own people when the games are over. So the future of the summer games, I think, looks bright because we have some successful athletes. Jay Triano from the men's basketball team, just to mention one notable athlete that has come through the stream of the Ontario Games and gone on to Olympic and international competition. So I think the summer games are in good shape and they'll continue for a long time. We're looking forward to maybe going after the winter games, something new for Peterborough.
I'm Joan Reed Olsen for the Ontario Summer Games at the track, Trent University.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Joan. A very interesting chit-chat with some very interesting people. The 1986 Ontario Summer Games, continuing our TV coverage here live on TV Ontario through the facilities of McLean Hunter Cable TV. Elaine, you have more scores to report, and I don't want to make you angry by not letting you read some.
Well, we're trying to keep people updated. It's very difficult. I know if you're sitting at home trying to find out how your son or daughter has done, it's a little hard, but we'll fill you in as much as we can. Lacrosse action out at the Memorial Centre. 15 and 16-year-olds are competing. Brampton has defeated the Ottawa team by a score of 14-3. Jason Federi had 2 goals and 4 assists. Jamie Fink had 2 goals and 1 assist. And goalie Troy Latimer had 3 assists. And those are all from Brampton team. Other lacrosse action, Huronia Huntsville defeated, it was a tie game, tied with Sarnia Windsor. That was a score of 7 apiece. James Graham had 2 goals, Colleen McCarthy 1 goal, 2 assists. Christopher Walser had 2 goals and 1 assist. In Midget AA baseball, games continue today and tomorrow. Streetsville defeated Peterborough, the score of 6-0. Rick Immis was the winning pitcher. Women's softball is an interesting competition here because the winners get to go to the Canadian Championships. They're going to be held out in Alberta in August. Riverside's well on their way. They just defeated St. Catharines with a score of 15-5. Liz Pendleton is the winning pitcher. More softball scores. Guelph defeated El Dorado with a score of 10-3. There's 3 teams from each of the 3 regions competing in those softball games, so there are many more scores to give you later. Sporting rifle competitions in the prone division. We have the first 3 finalists, first 3 winners. Sean Worth from Eastern Division in Renfrew took first place. Second place was also taken by a Renfrew gentleman, Stephen John, and third place was taken by Bonnie Lynn Price, and she's from Mississauga. Boys basketball, age 19 years old and under. The Eastern team representing Nepean, Kingston, and Belleville has defeated the Sault Ste. Marie Sudbury area team in one of their games, score of 78-70, so that was tight. All the top scorers were from the Eastern region, Stephen Barton, Paul Brasso, and Larry Elliott. The finals for the basketball will be played on Sunday. A few more scores from basketball. The Central East Toronto region defeated Nepean, Kingston, Belleville area, score of 84-72. The top scorers were Mike Trout and Paris Dryden. Girls basketball, Niagara St. Catharines area defeated Sarnia, the score of 57-55, with the top scorers Pam Sparrow, Amy Brady, Bondi, and Gloria Tomasovic. And I'm destroying a few names, but these people will know who they are, and they know that they've done some good competing out here at the Ontario Summer Games.
And I know you're doing some good competing, too, with the scores and the mounds of paper. And I understand you got flowers delivered to you today from your fans.
Yes, I did. I haven't had a large contingency of fans, but I'll take what I can get. They're beautiful.
Well, isn't that nice? Okay, we are going out to the track now. Earl Catchpole and Bob Hancock are standing by with a look at the 100-meter dash for girls. So let's go to Earl.
Welcome back to the Trent Track. My name's Earl Catchpole, and with me is Bob Hancock, and we're going to be taking a look at the girls' 100-meter race. And Bob, maybe you can tell me what's going to come up.
This is the 100-meter final, Earl, and in here we have 6 of the finest juvenile sprinters in the province of Ontario, 17 years of age and under. The Ontario record in this event, 11.52 seconds. I don't think that's attainable, Earl, by any of these people. That was set by Angela Bailey, of course, of our national team, an Olympic silver medalist at the Los Angeles Olympics. Angela Bailey set that back in 1978. However, in this race today, we have running in lane 1, Charmaine Gilgis of the York University Optimists, and she was second at the Ontario High School Junior Championships over 100 meters. She has a best time in this event of 11.98. Tammy Staple of Quinte in Belleville is running in lane 2. Christina Forward, the Ontario Midget and Junior 100 champion, is running in lane 3 from the Ottawa Athletic Club. Lane 4 from Chatham, the Western Region 100-meter champion, Pam Nepsey. In lane number 5 is the Ontario High School Midget champion over 100 meters, a time of 12 flat, Carol Bassett of the York University Optimists. And completing the field in lane 8, Jody Poore, the Ontario Indoor Juvenile bronze medalist over 60 meters. And as they come to the line, it appears to be on the outside lane, Charmaine Gilgis, but coming strong at the line, it is Christina Forward of the Ottawa Athletic Club, winning the Ontario Summer Games 100-meter final, unofficially a time of 11.98 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Bob. We'll be coming back very shortly with the boys 100-meter finals, and we'll keep you up to date on the results as we get them here at the track at Trent.
Okay, thank you, Earl. You guys are doing a fantastic job down there, keeping us updated and giving us a look at some of the action out on the track. Well, Elaine, we have a hot day out there. I'm trusting the athletes are coping all right.
Yes, we do, and there's medical facilities available. I know they're keeping a close eye on some of these athletes to make sure that their health isn't impaired because of the heat. We're comfortable in here. I can tell you this is a great place to be during the competition.
For sure, yeah. Okay, Earl, catch pole. They're standing by again. This is the 100-meter dash for boys. Let's go back out to the track.
Welcome back to the Trent track. We're now going to take a look at the boys 100-meter finals, which will be running very shortly. Just before we get to that, though, I'd like to perhaps we can get some updated stats from Anya Jontanen, who is here on and off today. Could you give us a little bit of a rundown on what's going on?
Sure can, Earl. Thank you very much. I've got the results for the boys 100-meter hurdle finals. Standing at third place, Andrew Stark, representing the Oshawa Legion Track and Field Club, in at 14:31. Second place went to Darren Boyer from the Etobicoke Huskies, and which happens to be the new Ontario record at 13.78. And first place went to Ainsworth Morgan from the York University Optimists with the total point of 13.69. And that is the new record.
Okay, thank you very much, Anya. Bob, maybe you can give us a rundown on some of the people who are going to be running in this race.
Yes, Earl, the 100 final for boys is coming up now. Once again, we are 17 and under age-wise, 100 meters. The whistle has indicated that they are ready at the finish line and at the start line. The competitors in this race running in lane 1 will be Warren Bascom of the Ottawa Athletic Club. He is the Ontario High School Midget 100-meter champion. Mark Chambers of Brampton, a student at Central Peel High School in that city in Ontario, the 1985 OFSA Midget 100 and 200 champion, will be running in lane 2. Ainsworth Morgan will be running in lane 3. You've already seen him win the 100-meter hurdles in record time earlier this afternoon. He will be running in lane 3. Lane 4 will be Wendell Charles, the Metro Toronto Junior 100-meter champion. Jay Menard of the Northland Athletic Club of Sudbury, Ontario, the Northern Midget 100-meter champion, will be running in lane number 5. And completing the field of very talented runners running in lane 6 from Tilsonburg will be Chad Lemmer. The record in this event, 10.53 seconds, and that was set by Tony Sharp, now a member of Canada's national team back in 1977. We're all set now for the boys 100-meter final. Getting set now, Ainsworth Morgan already won the hurdles, off to a very good start. It is Morgan, Chambers, and Bascom on lane 1. Bascom and Chambers at the line, but Morgan closing fast, and at the line is very, very close. It would appear as though Wendell Charles came up at the very last moment. Wendell Charles of the Central Region of Ontario, unofficially just nipping Ainsworth Morgan, as Warren Bascom and Mark Chambers were in 3rd and 4th position. Unofficially a time of 10.76 seconds, a very fast time. Unofficially, Wendell Charles of the York University Optimists winning the Summer Games 100 meters for the juvenile athletes of the province of Ontario.
Bob, the heat here today is slightly oppressive, and I was wondering if that would have any effect on some of the runs we're seeing today.
Earl, it would not have any effect at all in the 100 meters and the 200 and basically the sprints. However, once you get into the distance races, 800 meters and up, the longer the distance, the more effect the heat is going to have on them, strictly because of a water intake and loss situation. As you well know, you must have water for oxygen, and when your body is sweating it out, you can't go too far without that. So over the hundreds and the 200s and the hurdles, it has no effect whatsoever. In fact, most sprinters like to have hot weather to sprint in because it keeps their muscles atoned. However, the long-distance runners do feel the effect of the heat.
So the athletes running the longer ones today, are they doing fairly well considering the climate?
When you consider that today we've only had a length of 1,500 meters, the two girls in the girls 1,500, the Armstrong girls, which we saw earlier, did extremely well in running a time of 4:36. However, I would think that the heat today probably took at least 2 or 3 seconds off what they could have run.
Okay, thanks very much, Bob. And now back to J. Murray Jones at the anchor desk.
Okay, thank you very much for more exciting action. And right now, we're going to go to the sport of volleyball. That's going on here at Trent University, right beside us, actually. And we are going to move things into Len Arminio for a semifinal game is underway between Central East and Central West. That is Pickering, Belleville against the Toronto area. So, Len, if you're ready, let's catch some of the action.
We're at Trent University, the men's semifinal, one of the two men's semifinal games. This game you're watching, Central West and Central East. The score is tied 4-4. And right now, the score is 5-4 for Central West as they come up with a big point. Keith Wasilek, explain how these two teams got to where they are.
What we're looking at is the number 1 ranked team right now. Central West has gotten into the semifinal with a 5-0 one-loss record. They've beaten all the other 5 teams in this 16 round robin. And Central East has gotten here with a 2-win and 3-loss record. So they were the 4th place team in the final placings. Earlier they dropped the match to Central West 2-0. So they're out here to avenge this a little bit.
And right now, both teams playing very strong. And as we check on the other court, there are 2 semifinal games underway right now. This game you're watching, and the Northeast against the Southwest on court number 2. And we see over there the score 8-2 for Southwest in their first game. Back to action on this court. Nice block. Beautiful block by Mark Roberts, along with John Bertelink, number 9. 5-5 now the score. If this is any indication of the way this game is going to go, Keith, we could be here for a while. Flyler, the serve. That's Yee. Albert dinks it. Recovered nicely. Beautiful point.
Duncan Kajuka hitting from power side really got a nice shot around the block there.
6-5 for Central East. See Juan Cordova going, hey, what happened? It's Yee. Abrams. It's out.
It's like the official called a touch off the block.
Okay. That means the service goes back to Central West. To remind our viewers, you can only score in volleyball when you are the serving team. It's Mark Albert with the serve for Central West. Here's the set. Roberts. And it's side out, comes back to Central East. These two teams look to be up for it.
I think they're looking at this match as pretty important. Like you said before, whoever wins this goes on to the gold medal match. So this is what it's all about for these last 2 days.
Well, a poor serve there, and the ball comes back to Central West. Dexter Abrams, the serve, just does clear the net. Here's the set. It's going to be a free ball. Abrams collaborates with Widener. And it does drop in past Bertelick, and Lloyd Wilkes, number 6, just couldn't reach it. 6-6. Goes long, and the service comes back to Central East.
We'll see if John will pick up on that and serve back at Dexter. No.
No, goes to Albert. Nice block up there by Central West. Again, nice block again. Tough play at the net. One more time by Ibit. And it drops in.
Really consistent hitting by Ian there. Just didn't mind getting blocked twice in a row. He just kept hitting it off the block until it went to the floor.
Central East takes the advantage 7-6. Bertelink again with the serve. To Albert again. To Widener. Cordova blocked and out. Side out back to Central West. 7-6 the score. Mark Yee. Roberts. And that shot by Kazuka goes wide and long. 7-all. He recovers to Albert. Cordova blocked, but it drops in. Point for Central West. 8-7.
A lot of these players are really young and really jumping really high above the net. You'll see a lot of the hits going off the block and out. Those are pretty good spikes rather than poor blocks.
Nice drive by Lloyd Wilkes. You see John Bertelink there. John, member of the provincial team, is that correct?
Yeah, there's two players on Central East team that are members of the provincial team training squad right now. Number 9, John Bertelink, and number 13, Ian Evatt. They're playing against 3 or 4 other members of the provincial team training squad on the other team, so they're pretty intent on beating each other.
And for our viewers in the Belleville and the Quinte area, John Bertelink is from Belleville and attends Loyalist College, where he plays on the OCAA team there. 8-all now the score as the East comes back. Excellent block. Drive for Cordova. Nicely saved. It doesn't touch anything up there. Dinked over the net. Oh, nice save by Yee. Cordova again. And it's... Oh, I don't know. He called it out, but it looked in to me. He called it out, but it looked in from this angle. 9-8. 9-8 for the East.
This is the time when the fans want those instant replays. You know, that's,
and the officials don't.
The officials don't, that's right.
Ibit drives it into the net. He was looking for that hole just on the other side of the net, but drove it into it instead. Side out, ball comes back to Central West. Yee. And that drive by Abrams goes long. The serve goes back to Central East. 9-8 for the East.
They're playing much more consistent than they did in the previous match against Central West. Their serving's a lot tougher and their blocking is way better than the previous match.
The set. And it's
just outside the antenna.
Just outside. If you can see on our shot here, there are 2 antennae that are about 3 feet above that 8-foot tall net. And the ball must remain within those 2 antennae. That one just on the outside. Juan Cordova. And Ibit. Nice drive right through the blockers.
I think he took one of Dexter's fingers with the ball.
Yeah, he's holding his hand. Well, from Trent University, this is Len Arminio along with Keith Wasilek from the men's volleyball.
Thank you very much, Len. You're watching McLean Hunter Cable TV's coverage of the 1986 Ontario Summer Games right here on TV Ontario, and welcome. We hope you're enjoying our coverage. From volleyball, we are going to boys basketball. That is out at Kenner Collegiate here in Peterborough. And we have a game going on with the Southwest against the Central West. That is Sarnia against the Niagara St. Catharines area. So the athletes represent those particular areas on the teams. Doug Dart and his crew are standing by at Kenner. Doug, let's see some basketball.
This is boys basketball coming to you live from Kenner Collegiate, where the action continues to be very, very intense, very close. The matchups are so tight. We're in a game again, 63 all, with 5.5 minutes to go in the game. You have to like this Southwest team, but Central West is hanging tough. Southwest with a 2-point lead at the moment, playing for their lives. This is the last game of the tournament for them, and they are in a must-win situation. Southwest in yellow, Central West in white. That's John Steffelmeyer, who's made a big difference to his squad in this game. Playing on the dribble, we have an offensive foul, no, defensive foul called against Mo Willoughby of the Southwest squad as he tried to fight through that pick and get to his check. 65-63, Central West trying to come from behind, and it'll be Adrian Back who goes to the line in an attempt to help his team do just that. Adrian has had a big part to play in the second half comeback. His team, he was, yes, their leading scorer in the first half, and he has already scored, I believe, 8 points from the line. Chance to score 9 and 10. I'm working with Bill Napodiak as color commentator. Bill, any comment on the action so far?
I've been very impressed with John Steffelmeyer. It seemed that Central West fell behind when he had to go off the floor with 4 fouls, and when he came back in, he's carrying Central West, I think, on their back, on his back, doing a terrific job going inside, outside, helping out on defense.
A little pressure up court here, and it has made a difference as in the first few minutes of the second half, when Central West managed to put pressure up court, they created the turnovers they needed. But in this instance, Mo Willoughby answers with a baby jumper of his own, put his team back up 67-65. Teams are playing very tense, tight, man-to-man defense. No good on that attempt. Off Southwest, it'll be Central West ball, out of bounds underneath. 4.5 minutes to go. It's only a 2-point ball game. Fans, we are seeing some great basketball here at Kenner Collegiate.
We were mentioning earlier, Bob, that the fatigue factor may set in. This is Southwest's second game today, whereas Central West is playing their first game. So in the last 4 minutes, we're looking to Central West to be a little fresher than Southwest.
Good check in that instance by Mo Willoughby as he stripped John Steffelmeyer of the ball on the post-up move. This is Mike Alessio, point guard spot for Southwest. Push from behind. Foul will be called on Mark Belay of Central West. I believe it's only his 4th personal foul. Several of the Central West players are in foul trouble. 5 personals permitted. He is not yet out of the game. That's Southwest with the ball at the point. Jason Idler, a factor in the first half, making a strong post-up move, drawing the foul. This one called against Adrian Back of Central West. Adrian now in a little foul difficulty with 4 personal fouls. Lots of time left in the game. It's only a 2-point ball game. Jason Idler at the line to shoot 2 for Southwest, who, as I mentioned, are playing for their the chance to go on in medal flight, perhaps. Making the first of his free throws. The boys are so good at this level that free throws are almost an automatic, aren't they, Coach?
Very high skill level. Very high skill level from these fellows.
Good shooting form. Buries both free throws in a must situation. His team now owns that 4-point lead again. Under 4 minutes to play. Southwest will have to make the most of its opportunities up and down the floor in this case. This is Steffelmeyer with the turnaround jumper. No luck as the ball goes off the... Oh! Yellow dispute the call, but it's going to be Central West ball underneath. Humidity and sweat in this heat, of course, creating a difficulty on the floor. Players are slipping a little, and the ref wants to make sure nobody can be injured, so he takes a moment while the floor is swept. Here's the out-of-bounds play. Entered nicely to the Southwest point guard. Turns around with the jumper. No luck as the ball went in and out. Rebounded by Southwest. Southwest now with a 30-second clock and nothing else to worry about. Own the lead. Giving to the cutter, Mike Alessio, who's no good on his shot. Unlucky again as Central West, with the rebound, had the ball go off their hands. Out of bounds. That'll be Southwest ball. Clock is not reset, I noticed. A lot of differences in the international rules. In that instance, they don't get the reset. They still have 30 seconds which to put the ball up. No luck here again. Oh, and a good save. This time by Southwest. Central West can do nothing right at this moment. Attempted saves go wrong, and it's going to be Southwest ball one more time. Back up to 30 seconds. It is a reset. Here's the out-of-bounds play we've seen several times. Oh, and a break. Alessio with the shot. No good. This one's saved by Southwest. Finally, dramatically, I think that's better. Central West with the ball. Inbounding. Trying to get the entry pass in to run a play, run the offense. Nice pass, a good dish. And again, cannot get that ball to drop. Alessio dribbling out of difficulty for Southwest. They are going to play a spread offense. No, they're going to take a shot. I think that helps the Southwest team. Foul call. This one. Did you catch who that foul was on, please? Doug Dart, our statistician. Called on Adrian Beck. That appears to be his 5th personal. A key player. High score for the Central West squad. Has gone out of the game with 5 personal fouls. 2.5 minutes to go in the game. That has to break a coach's heart. Dave Arsenault still in charge. Can't let things like that concern him at the moment, as he instructs his players on the floor. We're not just sure of the timeout situation, but as the game remains close, Coach Arsenault will likely use his timeouts to give more detailed instructions. He's asking for help at the table right now.
It may be a coaching ploy by Coach. What he's done now is, in terms of Hal McGuire, ice the shooter a little bit. So by having a player commit his 5th foul, by accident, he has taken advantage of it, and he's wasted 35 seconds to give the free throw shooter time to think.
Mike Alessio not disturbed in the least by that icing move. He goes to the line, makes his first chance now to give his team, and he does, that 6-point lead. Here comes Southwest, Central West, I should say, driving the lane. Nice drive. That's James Critz taking charge for his first 2 points of the game. Pressure up court by the Central West squad. Here's the ball entered to Southwest. They reverse nicely. Off the rim. Good hustle here by Central West on the transition game. They've got a 3-on-3. Nothing there. So they think better of it. Good defense. Mo Willoughby reaching across, taking a piece of that pass. Ball remains the possession of Central West. 71-67 the score. Favor of Southwest. 1:53 to go in the game. We've got a barn burner again, folks. Just like almost every game we've seen to date.
Tells you about the humidity. The players, any timeout or any stoppage of play, they rush over and stand in front of the various fans that are located around the perimeter of the gym.
It must be 110 in here. I can understand that. We're warm just sitting here calling an enjoyable game. Off the rim with the outside jumper. No good.
They needed that basket to narrow it down. This is a key basket here.
Basket. Good possession here. Defense will tell, as usual. Got away with something there. Southwest tried to get the post move. Oh, reach around. Foul's called on Wayne Bibby. And Wayne's 4th personal foul. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, 4th personal foul, and it looks as though Jason Idler will go to the line with a chance to put a little icing on the cake here. Coming into the game for Central West, Mark Belay, whom we thought had fouled out. No, that was Adrian Back. Excuse me. Okay, at the line, Jason Idler shooting 1-1. Coach Arsenault is doing his best to encourage his squad. The game is far from over, of course. A missed free throw, for example. That'll remain Central West ball. An all-important possession coming up here. They must look to give the ball to the right man, get the move. I would think in this case they want to get to Steffelmeyer. In my books, he's the man I'd want to have the ball. And they do. Deflected out of bounds by Mo Willoughby playing defense on Steffelmeyer. He has a job to do. Here's the shot from the elbow. No good again, and they're not getting second opportunities. Steffelmeyer with 4 fouls certainly couldn't reach in and play much defense there. Ball must be sweaty. The boys are complaining it's slipping out of their hands. All right, I think the stall tactic is in effect right now, as much as possible at least, when they've got a 30-second clock to worry about. They're using it all. There's a turnover. And a good job of recovery. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Foul committed. Unfortunately for Central West, no shot taken. Perhaps a smart play in this case by Southwest. Who is that who made the foul? Mike Burley. Intelligent foul. We've only got 30 seconds to go, folks, in a 4-point ball game. 38 seconds to go. Hang in there. I don't count Central West out of it.
We saw a game earlier this morning where a team was down 1 with 7 seconds to go, and they won the game by 3. So nothing is outside the realm of possibility.
Coach Arsenault calling timeout and giving final instructions to his squad. We have, as I say, a must-win situation for Southwest. They must win in order to keep their hopes alive for medal play tomorrow. Central is presently with a 2-2 record. Central West would, if they lose, fall to 2-2 with, of course, a 5th game to play later today. North is winless. Central East is 3-1. Southwest, who stand to win this game if the score remains the same, would go to 3-2, and East has finished at 3-2. The leaders in the clubhouse, so to speak.
Coach, we're looking for Central West to score and get the ball back, and let's see an OT game. We want to see something in overtime.
If Central West scores and Southwest gets the ball, then they will obviously get a second possession by virtue of the 30-second clock. There are 38 seconds on the clock, and even if Southwest milks the clock to the best of their ability, they would certainly have another opportunity.
Well,
an all-important free throw here. As he makes the most of it, we have to like the shot by Mark Belay. Lots of cool. Second shot coming up. He gets it to drop as well. It's a 2-point ball game.
They got to play defense now and get that ball back.
Pick them up early. They've got to pick their man up early. All right, a missed assignment on defense. They've got to get a check and pick him up early. Oh, an attempted save by Kevin Rome as he turned over the ball. Pressure here, 21 seconds on the clock. Who do they want to take the shot? I think they give the ball over here. That's to Steffelmeyer. He's fouled. Foul is called on Mike Alessio as they got the ball into the big man. Alessio's 4th personal. Alessio, the man we thought they'd go to, of course, had the dump pass as he squared. The weak side help came across, and you have to admire Mike for that. Certainly came from the far side of the key to help out, and he thinks he just got ball. But, of course, the referee's view of it was a little different. I guess this is called a pressure free throw, Coach.
Well, either way, even if John makes them both, Southwest will have 13 seconds in which time to get off the last shot and win the ball game. So although you are putting the other team on the line, you're still going to get it back. You're still going to have time for a shot. He's still got to make these.
And he did. We've got a tie ball game. Timeout has been called. I don't know who called timeout. It's a dead ball. White called timeout, and it's not their ball. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7. Southwest with the ball. Who has it? They give it to Kevin Rome for the turnaround jumper. It's no good. We might have that overtime game you were looking for, Coach. How about that, fans? We've got 71 all tie from Kenner Collegiate boys basketball. Who could ask for anything more?
Overtime, I love to see it. Referees are giving up free time, but they're going to have to hang in a little bit longer.
The refs are working for nothing, wouldn't you know it? We've got scoring statistics. 71 all the score in the game to date. I would think while the stats are being compiled for us, you might be interested in noting we've got one player on the Central West team who has fouled out. A key player, Adrian Back. Mike Alessio of Southwest with 4 personals and Mike Acton with 4 are the only players on the Southwest team in foul difficulty. Alessio, of course, a starting guard, would be sorely missed. The toss of the coin at center court, it'll be Southwest choice. They want to go in the same direction they have been going. That was a toss to determine direction of play. I don't know how possession is determined. It's presumably a toss. Yes, there'll be a tip-off, a jump ball at this stage. Even under NCAA rules, where the jump ball has been virtually eliminated, jump ball does start all overtime periods. This is Bob McLaughlin with Bill Napadiuk coming to you live from Kenner Collegiate with boys basketball.
You're watching live coverage of the 1986 Ontario Summer Games.
This is TV Ontario.
Well, welcome back to Peterborough. We're going to be getting back to that basketball game. We hope to see the final very exciting minutes, and that's boys basketball being played at Kenner Collegiate. Another one of the sports we haven't had the opportunity to talk too much about, and that is a sport that perhaps doesn't get the profile some of the others do. That is the sport of lawn bowling. And lawn bowling is not necessarily only played by seniors. We have some young players here this weekend, and it is a sport in the 1986 Ontario Summer Games. 21 years of age and under, both male and female competitors. They have singles, pairs, and triples competition, and all the matches are played at the Peterborough Lawn Bowling Club. We have a report and an update on that situation. Let's go to Ken Armstrong.
I'm Ken Armstrong at the Peterborough Lawn Bowling Club, the site of the lawn bowling activities during the Ontario Summer Games. And I have with me John Phillips, who is a veteran bowler as well as a member of the local club. John, perhaps you can give us some information with regard to bowling in general.
Okay, Ken, I'll try. I have been a member of the club for probably 25 years, and you mentioned I'm a veteran. Yes, I'm a veteran. I'm not a great lawn bowler, but I think this is the point that we should get across to people that are viewing, that lawn bowling is a fun game, and you don't have to be a winner to be a good sport. Lawn bowling is really fun, and you can do it from any age. From probably 11 or 12 years old, we have had some bowlers up into their 80s and even into their 90s. Some bowlers can continue to bowl. It's mild exercise, but it's fun.
John, perhaps we might take a closer look at some of the intricacies of the game itself. Could you describe what it's all about?
That is a lawn bowl. On this end, there is a small circle, which means there is a weight on that end. It is round this way, but of course it isn't round this way. It's sort of flattish. The jack can be hit and moved either to the right or the left within the confines of the green that you're playing on, or it can even be hit into the gutter. If it's hit into the gutter, it is still alive, and any ball that has hit the jack, they're usually marked with chalk, by the way, so they're distinguishable, they are still considered live. And if they were knocked into the gutter, close to the jack, if you will, they would be live bowls, and if they are closer than any other bowls, they would score. You can take out your opponent's ball if it's closer. You can wick off it, you can hit it and jump into the jack, and everybody says that's not fair, but it is fair. That's the way the game is played. So, very briefly, that is more or less how you score. One thing I might add, in provincial rules which govern the both our club playing and tournament play, is that the lead must throw the jack. The lead of the winning end must throw the jack, and it has to end up between the hog line and the ditch, and then is straightened out by the skip, so it is in line that way. As far as the summer games are concerned, the bowlers that will be participating are teenagers, I understand, from all over Ontario. We don't have any from the Peterborough Club as competitors in the summer games, but I'm sure that all of our club members will be here to cheer on all of the kids.
Well, these young people are going to be very fortunate to play on a first-rate facility such as this.
I hope they're going to have fun, and I think that is still a secret of the game of lawn bowling. Have fun, whether you win or lose.
And a good point to stress, John.
Oh, it is.
I'm Ken Armstrong for the Ontario Summer Games and the Peterborough Lawn Bowling Club.
Thank you, Ken. That was very, very interesting indeed. Listen, we want to go back to that basketball game. They're in overtime. It's a 5-minute overtime period. The Southwest and the Central West, that's the Sarnia area, and the Niagara St. Catharines area. This is boys basketball. Kenner Collegiate, they're in overtime. Let's go out to Doug Dart.
This is boys basketball coming to you live from Kenner Collegiate, where we are in overtime in a game between Central West and Southwest. Southwest now has taken a 3-point lead with 3 minutes to go in overtime on a great move inside. A steal. This one by Mo Willoughby has come to life here as he takes that ball length of the court, lays it in, and has another chance for a 3-point play.
There's a case of great defense. Nice overplay on the pass, deflected it forward, and drove in for the layup and got fouled in the act of shooting. Opportunity to put his team up 6, and that should shut the door.
It could do it. Usually in trying to commit a foul on that sort of a breakaway, a player wants to make sure no shot could be taken. But in that instance, even there, Mo Willoughby was able to get the shot off and makes the most of his 3-point play. Central West. Central West trying to penetrate down the lane. That was Hayton trying to drive. Mike Burley, correction, trying to make the drive. He was fouled by Dave Kluskens, and it was Scott Root who took that shot. Scott going to the line to shoot 1 in the bonus. 2:45 to go in an overtime ball game. Southwest playing for their lives. Their record 3-1. 2-1. They must go 3-2 in order to get into medal play tomorrow. Scott making the first and the second. Seen some excellent shooting in this tournament. Free throw shooting under pressure certainly doesn't seem to bother these players. Good defense again by Scott. A near steal. Here's the help. Weak side help. And Scott, attempting to steal the ball, got a piece of his hand. And number 13, correction, number 11 of Southwest, that's Chris Daly, will go to the line. He'll shoot 1 in the bonus. Still a 4-point ball game and lots of time left to play. Scott Daly, one of the starters for Chris Daly, correction, for Southwest. Off the front rim, no good. Violation call as one of the goal players entered the lane too fast. Southwest in the white. the chance to come up in an all-important possession, I would think, as they drive to penetrate through the lane. No good. We have a jump ball called. Jump this time between Scott Root and Mo Willoughby. A bit of a mismatch, I would think. Scott Root measures 5'11". I think we've got Mo Willoughby at 6'4".
Coach, is it too much to ask for double overtime?
Hey, we can't do everything for you today, Coach. There's the toss. You do concede it, and well played by the Central West team, who maintain possession. They're going to set. They go into their half-court floor set. That's Scott Root looking for somebody to dish to. There is a 30-second clock. And good penetration. That's Steffelmeyer. No good as the ball goes up. Foul's called on Mo Willoughby. Mo Willoughby will shoot. John Steffelmeyer will shoot one in the bonus, or possibly two. He's in the act of shooting. That's 5 fouls. 5 personals called on Mike Alessio. Starting guard for the Southwest team, and he'll have to sit down with 2 all-important minutes left to go in the game.
Coach, I think that's a very important call because Alessio is their QB. He's the guy that directs the show for Southwest, and without him on the floor, he's been directing the team now for the whole game. Now with him off the floor in overtime, I think that Southwest may not be quite as smooth.
That's true. They'll be looking for somebody else to run the show, and it may not be a player of the caliber of Mike.
Well, someone that's not been used to QBing in this particular game at this time.
Exactly. He hasn't been looking over the defense. John making good on both of his free throws. You have to like John Steffelmeyer. That's his 20th point of the ball game. We've got 2 minutes to go in the game, and it's a 2-point ball game. Kevin Rome is taking charge out at the point, it would assume. It would appear. He looks to penetrate. He's not used to playing that position. You can almost tell by that first pass. He gets the ball out where there's some help. Defense is tough. Central West playing extremely tough defense. Foul call. This one on Andy Zienchuk. That's only his 3rd personal. Coach Arsenault encouraging his club. He thinks that was a good foul. Willoughby will go to the line, shoot 2.
Bill, that was a good example of the value of a point guard. With their point guard on the bench, Southwest brought it down. They worked it around. I think there were 6 seconds left. And what they ended up with was their big guy shooting 20, 25-foot jump shot. And I think that's the value of a point guard. They couldn't get it down low.
Yes, I suppose Southwest is lucky to be at the foul line. And since the wrong guy took the shot from the wrong spot.
Oh, Willoughby's dynamite inside, and he ended up shooting a jumper from outside.
He makes one. We've got a 80-77 ball game. 1:39 left to play. That's Scott Root directing traffic as he has for the entire game. Defensive foul called. This one on Mo Willoughby of the Southwest squad. Teams are not going to allow anybody to drive that lane. As well you can expect, their coaches have told them nothing comes easy. That's his 4th personal? 3rd personal foul. And John Steffelmeyer again at the line with a chance to close the gap. Makes good on another free throw. He just buries those, doesn't he?
Oh, he's a player. He can do it from inside, and he can go outside and hit that jumper from out there as well. He's an all-round player.
Super. We've got a 1-point ball game again, folks. You can feel excitement. The players have been here. A lot of them have played a lot of tournaments. Provincial caliber play, but they are not, they're not giving in under the heat, giving in under the pressure. This is Kevin Rome in a post-up position. No good, and an excellent tip-in move as Don Douglas come down the lane, managed to tip in that missed shot, put his team up by 3 again. That could be a key basket. His offensive boards and defensive boards, for that matter, have belonged to Southwest in this tournament. That's Steffelmeyer as he posts up. Spin move. Good defense. Saves the ball. Will not go. The little shot taken by Andy Zienchuk wouldn't drop. Andy gets to shoot 2 as he was fouled in the act. 49 seconds to go in the game. 82-79. Free throws, all important here.
Well, as they say in French, is this a little deja vu?
We're not going to see another one.
It's almost similar situation to the end of the game. On the line, shooting 2, and chance an error to 1, and then anything can happen.
Coach Minello of Southwest giving instructions to his team, and substitutions are coming in for both squads. Unfortunately, Coach Arsenault has no more big men he can go to, as both his big men are on the floor, one of his big men, I should say, is on the bench with 5 fouls. Good free throw shooting here by Andy Zienchuk.
Central West has been shooting exceptionally well down the stretch from the line. I think that's 5 in a row.
There's another one. Now back to a 1-point game. The shot clock has started at 27 seconds to go, 40 seconds on the game clock. So whatever else happens by way of a stall by Southwest, they may not...
this is where they
may
miss
have
the
to give
point
up
guard.
possession. They have nobody who can take charge. Exactly. Here we go. No foul called. Oh, and a tip-in miss. Foul called. Again, Don Douglas coming down the lane, almost able to tap that ball back up again. This foul is called, and it'll be Douglas with 6 points in overtime, certainly a major factor in this ball game. While Central West has kept the game close, they have scored 6 of their 8 points in overtime at the foul line. 82-81 the score. And that's Don Douglas at the line to shoot 2. 23 seconds on the clock. John Steffelmeyer out of the game for Central West. What a blow that is to Central West's hopes, although they certainly have a second game to play later today, and they may yet be seen in the middle round. From what we've seen, too bad 6 teams can't make it. I'm extremely impressed with the caliber of play and the close matchups every game. We're told that 5 teams, in fact 5 teams, have a chance to be tied at the end of the tournament for first place. Don Douglas with a free throw, and he makes it perfect. 2-point lead for his team. Great free throw shooting under pressure. Don Douglas with 2 shots from the line, 84-81. No foul called. Good rebound here by Kevin Rome. He's fouled from behind. This foul called on Andy Zienchuk. Andy, realizing there was a desperation foul, his team down by 3, 14 seconds. He had to stop the clock somehow. That was his 4th personal foul. Timeout has been called by Central West. Southwest with the high fives, sensing victory in overtime and a chance to go on in medal play. Just a chance, however, as it could come down to a point spread, points for and against if all teams are tied, as I mentioned, at 3 and 2.
This is a situation, Bob, we were talking about last night. In FIBA, they have the option of shooting the foul shots or taking the ball at midcourt with possession. I get the intent would be, and it appears that Southwest is going to take possession. The intent is that, or the strategy is rather, that they could kill off some time. But we're wondering, we saw it happen yesterday. They messed up on the inbounds play, and a person went in for a 3-point play.
It's certainly an interesting wrinkle in the rules, isn't it? I don't know that I'd turn down a chance to put points on the board.
I think 3 or 4 coaches have done this now.
Attempted steal. Here's the pressure up court. 3. Foul committed by Mark Belay, of course, trying to stop the clock now with 8 seconds on it. Mark Belay reaching around trying to get the steal as there were 3 men on the ball in that instance. Again, it'll be Southwest ball out of bounds at half court. Here's the inbound. They try to get the ball inbound and do. Jumper here, rebounded. I think it's history. 2 seconds on the clock. He's got to shoot. It's good, but that's 84-83. They do not count it. All right, 84-81, our final score, as Central West, in a desperation effort, lose the game. They have played 4 games in the tournament. Will have a 5th opportunity later today to remain in contention for medal play. Now we have Southwest, who have completed tournament play. They are now at 3-2. As our East, both those teams have finished play and will quite possibly go on in medal play tomorrow. This is Bob McLaughlin from Kenner Collegiate, working with Bill Napadiak and Doug Dart. Boys basketball action, the Ontario Summer Games.
Well, thank you very much, Doug, and congratulations to the Southwest basketball players representing the Sarnia region. Their record now 3-2, and we'll be keeping our eye on that particular situation. It's time for us to go back to the track again, and the activities going on out there today and tomorrow, 2 days full of track and field events. Earl Catchpole is standing by with a look at the 4x400 meter relay finals. So let's go to Earl for that one.
So you've heard it there from Mike McIntosh that the team representing the central region of Ontario, a team of the Burnett brothers, Hull and Mark Jackson, running in lane 5 to start out, would seem to have probably the edge in this particular race. This is the final event of the boys section of day 1. As they go down the backstretch, it is the central region now taking over the lead. Derek Burnett, a very fine runner representing the York University Optimists. He has the lead with right now the Western region running second. The first runners will run in lanes the entire length, and when they do get to the first handoff, they may then cut to the inside after they have run the one bend, continuing into the second lap. So the first runners now coming up to the conclusion of the first 400 meters. It is Derek Burnett, and we will have a split time of Derek Burnett. Mike, what was that split?
Split of 50.2 seconds, Robert. That was just a little slow. Hopefully Terrence can run a very good leg here and definitely leave the rest up to Corey Burnett and Mark Jackson. This is the only way they'll bring home a record. They definitely need 3 strong legs from the remainder of these 3 athletes.
Now, a 320 would consist of 4 50-minute flats. So Derek Burnett's first leadoff leg was just a little over. However, the record does allow for that extra 20 seconds or so. So if they were all to run 50.20 or better, then that record would be in the hands of the Central Region. Central Region leading as they come into the second exchange now. It is Terrence Hull will now be taking over, and his split
51.05, Robert, 51.05. Definitely now Corey Burnett and Mark Jackson will have to do a lot of work to get this record. This record will depend on how well these 2 guys can finish this race off for the Central Region. As you can see, they have a very commanding lead at this point. No one's really challenging them. Therefore, the work is cut out for themselves on their own. Definitely, they'll have to dig very deep.
So, Mike, in order to set a record of this kind, running by yourself is a very difficult situation to do rather than being pressed by another team. Would you say that?
Yes, definitely. So it does tend to more or less you're out there alone and you don't realize how hard you're pushing. It's much more difficult on your own.
Another interview that was booked by Bud.
Go, Mark, go for it.
And a 51.2. So Mark Jackson, a finalist at the Canadian Junior Championships, will have to run probably a very, very low 49 or even high 48 in order to establish this record. However, there is no doubt that the Central Region team is well out in front, and the remainder of the field, as you can see by your camera right now, the regions following the Central Region now having a commanding lead of approximately 50 to 60 meters.
Robert, on the final 100 meters, Mark Jackson is really giving it a good shot. He's driving right through. A tremendous finish by him. It's going to be extremely, extremely close to the record. They might just be a shy off of it. Unofficially 3:21.35. Unfortunately, a very good leg of 48.87 by Mark Jackson, but just shy off the record.
And Southwestern were up to be second. The Western Region were third. The Eastern Region were fourth. and the northwestern region of the province of Ontario were 5th. So the winning team here in the 4x4, the final boys event of the day at track and field at the Trent University track, goes to the central region of Ontario, a very fine team made up of Derek Burnett, Terrence Hall, Corey Burnett, and Mark Jackson, representing the central region of Ontario. And
well, thank you very much, gentlemen, down the track, providing us with up to the minute and very clear, concise action of the track and field events that are going on down there. Right now, we're going to go to semi-final men's volleyball. That is going on here in Trent University's gym, and Len Arminio is down there following the action. We're going to join a game in progress between the Central East and the Central West. This is semi-final men's volleyball. Let's go down now to Len Arminio.
It's 3-2 for Central West in this third and deciding game in the men's semifinal here at Trent University. 3-2, Central West leads. Teams tied at 1 game apiece. This is the deciding game. Len Arminio and Keith Wasilek here at Trent University. Great drive, and Roberts tried to make that save and wound up driving it out. Now, Keith, the other semifinal is over. These teams already know who they're going to be playing.
Yes, the Southwest team defeated the team from Northeastern Ontario with scores of 15-3 and 15-12 in the other semifinal. So they're finished and they're resting right now and scouting. So the Southwest team moves on to the gold medal match, and the Northeastern team will play in the bronze medal match against the loser of this match that we're watching.
Well, the first game in this particular match went to overtime, you might say, 16-14 for Central West, but Central East came back strongly in the second game, 15-3 in that game. Now, these teams, it took about 9 serves before we had a point scored in this particular game, the third game. 3-2 is the score right now, and I don't quite know what the discussion is amongst the officials and the referee.
Seems to be some problem with serving rotation. That's usually why a second official will go over there and check the score sheet. Now he's asking Central East to line up in their proper rotation just so he can check it out.
Well, that's what he's doing. He has the official score sheet in his hand, and he's saying who's supposed to be where.
This is the order that they started in, where they are right now, and if there's any problem with that, it's not really a fault of the players. It's more an error maybe on the scorekeeper's part, or somebody else to check it at the beginning of the game.
All right, looks like they got things organized now, and we're ready to resume action.
What happens is if people find that the wrong server has been serving, they will take back all those points that the team has scored.
And you don't want that to happen in a game like this. Mark Roberts for Central East returns it. That's Yee for Abrams. It's blocked. You see Mark Albert for Central West. And this dropped over the net. Combination of John Bertling and Mark Roberts there at the net. And John's been doing that this entire match, just getting up there as he can jump 11.5 feet and just tip that ball over the net. Comes for Cordova. Yee setting for Abrams, drives it.
And Dexter Abrams showing no respect for John Bertling's jumping ability, just hit the ball right over top of John.
3-3 the score. Service now to Central West. Mark Albert. And it doesn't quite clear the net.
Dexter seems all right, but I think you might have seen him slip really badly in the middle there. Just a little bit too much perspiration on the floor.
And it's getting quite warm in this building, even though it is air conditioned. There are a lot of people in here. There's a lot of action going on. And of course, the weather outside doesn't make the air conditioning effort any easier. So it is 3-3 in this third and final game of the semifinal match between Central West and Central East. Albert. Yee. Abrams drives. Good save. Yee tries to drop it over the net. He sets again. And blocked. And it comes out. Okay, with the score at 3-3 between Central West and Central East in this semifinal, I'm Len Arminio along with Keith Wasilek from Trent University.
Okay, thank you very much, Len. We're going to be joining in just a few minutes' time to continue that coverage of that very exciting volleyball game. But right now, we have another report on cycling, another one of the 15 sports here in the 1986 Ontario Summer Games. And we hand things over to Al Simmons.
Unlike today's road race event, yesterday's time trials was strictly a race against the clock. They started 60 seconds apart and ran a 40-kilometer course just outside the city of Peterborough. Prior to the event starting, one of the riders told us that 57 minutes would be a good time on that 40-kilometer course, and he wasn't far off. Matt Vary of Ramsey Cycle clocked in at 59 minutes and 46 seconds. Less than 3 minutes separated the number 1 rider from the number 10 rider. John Ashmore of Ottawa Bicycle Club came in at 1 hour, 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Not far ahead of him, Scott Burke of Ajax Cycle Club at 1 hour, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Also from Ottawa, Alan Carlson, Greg Payne and Gord Fraser, all in a minute off the pace. Troy Matheson of Glengarry Bicycle Club, 1 hour, 1 minute and 41 seconds. Chris Bartholomew of Superior Cycle Club at 1 hour, 51 seconds. Brent Atkins of Ottawa doing extremely well in the time trials yesterday at 1 hour and 41 seconds. Peter Berridge of St. Catharines, 1 hour, 26 seconds. And as we mentioned, Matt Vary of Ramsey Cycle, 59 minutes and 46 seconds. On the ladies' side of things, number 10 position went to Anita Lagler of Brampton at 1 hour, 10 minutes and 25 seconds, about 10 minutes behind the junior men. Susan Palmer of Collingwood at 1 hour, 9 minutes and 47 seconds. Jenny Esplin of Toronto, 1 hour, 9 minutes, 21 seconds. Valerie Hodgson of Peterborough, 1 hour, 8 minutes and 37 seconds. Laura Ruptash of Ottawa, again, the Ottawa Cycle Club doing extremely well in yesterday's time trials at 1 hour, 7 minutes and 9 seconds. Trish Smith, also of Ottawa, 1 hour, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Marilyn Wells of Cyclops, 1 hour, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Senta Bauermeister of Ottawa Bicycle Club, 1 hour, 3 minutes and 35 seconds. And the number 1 lady in yesterday's competition, Kellyanne Way of Bloor Cycles, 1 hour, 1 minute and 57 seconds. The junior men's winner was the only person to break that hour for an average speed of over 40 kilometers an hour on that course yesterday, just outside the city of Peterborough. We'll have more coverage of the cycle event as the Ontario Summer Games continues. My name is Alan Simmons from Trent University.
Thank you very much, Alan, at the cycling, and he is covering that particular sport here at the Games. You're watching live television coverage of the 86 Ontario Games here on TV Ontario through the facilities of McLean Hunter Cable TV. We'll be on the air till 5 o'clock today. We'll join you again at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and all kinds of finals and last-minute events. I think you'll find it very exciting, so please do stay with us. Elaine, a hot day out there. I think we're the luckiest of all here in Peterborough. We're probably the coolest right now.
That's true. We want to get you back to some of that live action as quickly as possible, but let me update a few scores for you. We have a lot of finals in the track and field events. We have a hurdles final, boys 100 meters, gold medal to Ainsworth Morgan, the silver to Darren Boyer, and Andrew Stark took the bronze. Final standings in the girls 400 meter event, Maureen Chinkmaris from southwestern London area took the gold, Karen Lane, southwestern Simcoe area took the silver, and Angela Chadwick, she's from central Bramalea, took the bronze. Boys 100 meter final, Wendell Charles of Central Toronto came in with 11.06 seconds to take the lead in that event. In second place was Ainsworth Morgan from Central Toronto area with 11.11 seconds, and third place Mark Chambers from Western Brampton area. In the girls' discus finals as well, Heather Quick came in first place with a gold medal performance, 38.54 meters. Behind her in second place, the silver medalist was Krista Kao, and Rebecca Smith took the bronze. Boys 400 meter final standings, Brian Dicker took the gold medal with 49.04 score, Derek Burnett took the silver, and Mark Jackson took the bronze. And finally, in the girls' long jump, from Cornwall, Mary Grant leading that event, 5.34 meters. Lisa Hughes is second place, Nadine Rowe in third place, and Tammy Staple took fourth place. So there's some great final activity taking place out in the track and field events. We'll try to get to the medal winners' names as they come in, and the live action will give you some of that live.
Okay, thank you very much, Elaine. Okay, it's time to join them once again. We're talking volleyball, and that event is being played inside Trent University. And it's men's volleyball, Central East, Central West. The game is going on right now. Let's go back down to Len Arminio.
Otto makes that save. Back here at the men's semifinal, 7-6 for Central East in the third and final game of this match. Imposimano for Central West. Cordova the drive, off the blockers and out. And it's side out for Central West. They're down 6-7 in this game. Central East playing extremely steady and strong in the second game to just basically blow out Central West. This game has been very close, and it's now tied. That's about as close as you can get, 7-7. John Bertelink from Belleville for Central East. And again, going to do some housekeeping. It's Juan Cordova for Central West.
Good tough serve by Juan. It's keeping them in the match right now. They still need some blocking from Mark Albert in the front court and stop these half-speed shots and get a little bit of power going in their game. That's what got them to the semifinal.
John Bertelink has done about as much maintenance here as the maintenance staff at Trent University in the last half hour. We're ready to go. We're tied at 7 in the third and final game of the semifinal match. Central West and Central East. That's John Bertelink getting that save. Oh, and nicely saved in there.
That was a good ball.
Good ball, and
that was a good ball.
What's the referee calling here?
He's saying it went outside the antenna, but that was a good save. The referee's standing in bad position to call that. But we're only up here and he's down there, so they switch sides at 8-7.
And in the third game in a three-game match, when we get to the halfway point, when we come up to 15 points, we make the change. 8-7 for Central West over Central East. In the other semifinal match, Southwest was the winner over Northeast by 2-0. So a lot of the Southwest players, in fact, I think all of them are sitting here watching, trying to figure out just who they're going to play tomorrow in the gold medal game here tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 at Trent University. Juan Cordova is going to be serving for Central West after the referee checks to make sure everybody's in their position. And they are, and we're ready.
Central East can't let that sort of questionable call affect them right now.
Ibit drives it.
Good.
Scores.
Yeah, they're playing much too strongly to let little things like that bar them.
Side out, I should say. 8-7. Now 7-8 as the ball comes back for service to Central East. See Mark Albert there with the headband. Wilkes the serve. Roberts. Albert hangs on to it. Whistle. And it's tied. What was the call on that, Keith?
Well, Mark flipped it over the net rather quickly, and I don't think Mark Albert was ready for it, so the referee called a held ball on him.
Roberts back over the net to Yee. Abrams drives. Good stop. Ibit tips it over the net. 9-8. Central East. Excellent play by Ian.
Good heads-up play. I mean, Ian jumped up to look like he was setting and just tipped it over the net with one hand, caught the whole defense off guard.
E for Abrams. It's out. 10-8 for East. Dexter Abrams just has an awesome drive and he really gets into it.
He's not really getting consistent sets. I mean, look at him hitting. One time he's outside the court and one time he's inside.
Here he comes again. This time he just dings it. Roberts. The drive is blocked. Ibit. Back to Roberts. blocked. And 4 hits is the call. You only allowed 3. 10-8 the score. And side out, the ball goes to Central West. Mark Widener, the server. Roberts. Is Yee going to set for Abrams once again? Blocked and out.
That's the best set that Dexter's got so far. It's about just half a meter inside the antenna, and that's his bread and butter shot.
That makes it 10-9 for Central East. Wilkes gets it in, Ibit, and he can't clear the net on that drive. Makes it 10-10.
This would be a great time to call a timeout. Get the kids settled down a bit.
Ibit is rejected, 2 hits. And a point to Central West as they now take the lead, coming back nicely. 11-10 for Central West. Roberts is rejected, and it falls in for a point. 12-10, and timeout now called by Central East.
That's a tough shot by Mark. I mean, he's hitting against a tall block on the other side, and he should be trying to go on the outside of the block rather than the inside against Mark Albert.
Central West, nice comeback here, scoring about 5 points in a row. You see John Bertelink from Central East, big number 9 from Belleville, and his coach, Ron Halton from Fenland Falls. What do you think Ron is telling his guys now, Keith?
Well, they're still being served at, so they need a good pass, and I think he's telling his 2 setters, Ron Fleeler and Duncan Kajuka, just to not try and be too perfect, just give Ian a good set on the outside or give Mark a good set on the outside and let them hit away at the ball. It's not the time to get fancy right now.
Well, again, Bertelink is talking to the referee. And we're ready to go. Mark Widener. Roberts. Kajuka. Back to Roberts. Outside the antenna. 13-10 for Central West.
Mark made really sure of that serve. That's about the easiest, highest serve I've ever seen. So that's a good serve after a timeout.
Kajuka to Ibit. Drives it. Save back there. Yee gets it over the net. Bertelink diving save. Ibit. The drive off the blockers, and Abrams finally does clear the net. Ibit again, side out. Nice drive by Ian Ibit.
Not a high percentage set at this point in the game, but Ian certainly did a good job with the ball.
Okay, and again, we're going to have a little bit of maintenance out here on the floor. 13-10 is the score. Central West in front in this 3rd and final game in the semifinal match.
Okay, what Central East needs here right now is a good tough serve from Ian Ebbett and Mark Roberts and Ron and John Bertelink in front court to put up a decent block and get one more point here and get them past the sticking point of 10 and 11.
Cordova gets it to Yee to Abrams. And Kajuka knew exactly where it was going to go but could do nothing about it.
Dexter's hitting that ball pretty hard right now, pretty fast.
I wouldn't want to put the radar on it.
No. Okay, need another good pass right here, Central East, to keep them back.
Abbott. Kajuka for Bertelink. Abrams stuffed. The ball comes back to Central East.
Excellent block by Mark Roberts. He just put both hands around the ball and just shoved it back at Dexter and said, here, take this. They need one more like that.
Ron Flyler, number 8 for Central East, taking the serve. Abrams. Yee has to dig for it. Abrams just tips it. Coming for Bertelink. And it saved, not quite. Albert couldn't get to it. Point for Central East, 13-11. Central West in front.
Both these teams are playing excellent volleyball right now. They're playing 1 point at a time. They're working really hard for the side outs and points. That's the way that got them to this semifinal right now.
Where? It's gonna be cool back there. Yeah, we can go in and
Drive on the net, side out to Central West. Serve comes back to Central West. 13-11. They're in the lead in this third and final game of this match. Weiler. And it's out off of Cordova. Dexter Abrams made a valiant attempt to keep that one in play, but couldn't. Cordova. Weiler. Verdelink.
Nice.
He scores.
Hey, but I see John getting some extra work right now. He's blocking in the middle of the court, and then on the transition, he moves outside, and the set goes outside.
We're now at 13-12 for Central West. Central East with the serve. Nicely done. Back it comes to Albert, to Yee. To Cordova, blocked. Excellent play by Wilkes and Berteling on that block. 13 all. And this is quite a match.
Really? Oh, good. Just to save them the work.
If there had to be a favorite in this match, I think it would be Central East. There's a lot of parents in the crowd and a lot of people that know the players and have seen them play in the high school leagues around this area.
Well, when you consider that a lot of the players are from this area, three from Peterborough, Fenelon Falls just up the road, 2 people from Fenelon Falls, Madoff, Pickering not far away, and some players from Hastings County.
And these poor guys had
a lot of fans here. Cordova, blocked by Bertelink, comes back to Cordova, and it's in, just made it in the corner here, so it's side out to Central West.
Yeah, I can make a couple of bucks here.
Merrick Yee.
I'll just go have a beer and I'll be right down.
West. We're tied at 13. Oh, and a bad reception by Mark Roberts. And that gives Central West a 14-13 lead. We need 15 to win.
I'd say Merrick's going to serve at him again.
He does, but Bertelink will take it. Here comes Bertelink. Dicks it over the net. Good save by Abrams. Up to Cordova. Dropped in by Bertelink. Again to Cordova. And that's it. That's it. Game over. 15-13. Central West wins this men's semifinal. And they'll go on to the gold medal game to play the Southwest. So from Trent University Gymnasium, where we've just seen a great semifinal match, this is Len Arminio along with Keith Wasilek. Now back to Jay.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to Central West, Len. You had us on the edge of our chairs through that volleyball match. Well, we're in the final few minutes of today's live television coverage of these Ontario Summer Games. We'll be back again, of course, tomorrow from 11 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. Still lots of action left. Tomorrow, a lot of excitement is on the plate because of the finals and the medal presentations and everything else. So I hope you'll join us. Another sport, and we've been learning a lot about sports that most of us don't hear too much about. Rifle target shooting, Elaine. That's another one of the 15 sports.
Yes, it's one that we, as you say, aren't quite as familiar with, so we thought we'd fill you in just a little bit. It's there's 2 different events, the prone and the 3 position. They're both 60-shot events, so they've got lots of chance to hit that target before they get their final results, and they use a .22 caliber rifle in their events. The boys are only 18 and under, boys and girls events, so we'll look forward to seeing something about that from our report.
Okay, and actually that's what we're going to do right now, funny enough. George Gall is our man covering this particular sport. It's at the Peterborough Fish and Game Club, just outside of the city, not all that far away. So right now, to look at prone rifle shooting, this is the 50-meter event. We're going to turn things over to George Gall.
Today at the target range, 25 competitors took part in the 60-shot prone event. The competition features male and females under the age of 18. One of the competitors is 16-year-old Bonnie Lynn Price of Mississauga. Bonnie, maybe you could explain the event to us.
Okay, you're lying down and you're trying to hit a 10 ring that's the size of a quarter from 50 meters. And in order to do that, you're trying to keep your hand as steady as you can and concentrate on the target. You can always tell if you've made a good shot or a bad shot depending on the way the gun moves.
What are the purposes of the wind flag that are on the range?
Flags are for to indicate which direction the wind is going and to determine if your shot's going to go straight or if it's going to turn on you.
Can you explain the principle of dry firing and what it does for your performance?
Well, dry firing is when you put a blank shell into your gun and you just practice pulling on the trigger so you can take your time and do everything correctly. After each round, you wait for the official to give the clearance that everybody is finished on the line so you can go and change your target. Then you go make sure there's 5 shots on each target and look to make sure your grouping's really good, and you just change it and bring it back to the officials.
Today at the target shooting, in the prone event, after the first round, Stephen John is the leader of the East Region with 583. Bonnie Lynn Price of Center East Region is next with 579. And Matt Bedlington of Center East Region as well scored a 575. At the completion of today's target event, the medal standings were as follows. The gold medal was awarded to Sean Worth, representing the East Region. Sean is a member of the national team. The silver medal went to Stephen John, also representing the East Region, and the bronze medal was awarded to Bonnie Lynn Price of Mississauga, representing Center East Region. From the Fish and Game Club, I'm George Gall.
Thank you very much, George Gall. Sports in the 1986 Ontario Summer Games. Many of these sports are just about over for the day. I'm sure some of them will be going a little bit later, but from what I've seen, the athletes have been having a great time.
Oh, I think they have, and I think that, as we said, that's part of the competition is to enjoy it. Some of them will be finished, and they'll be having a good night tonight with no pressure on them, but a lot of final events tomorrow. So the competitors hopefully will get a good night's sleep and be raring to go for their finals.
Well, the organizers actually have planned a big barbecue tonight. There's a big barbecue for all of the athletes and the coaches and the managers and the media, and they're going to have throngs of people out here at Trent University, and they'll have some videos for the kids and things of that nature.
Should be great. Once again, we've estimated approximately 2,200 participants in the 1986 Ontario Summer Games. They're from all over Ontario. We hope you've really enjoyed watching as well today. We have a few more things we can give you before we have to leave you.
We do want to remind you that tomorrow we're right down to the clinch. The finals and the semifinals in many of the sports will be going, and we will be going on the air here on TV Ontario at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll go until 5. And we will certainly do our best to give you all the excitement that they're generating here in Peterborough.
Yes, it's been a really busy day. We hope to give you as many of the medal presentations as we can, too. You can see how difficult it is to get 15 events in on our coverage, but we hope you've gotten what you wanted.
Okay, right now we are going to go back down to Little Lake. And actually, this action took place yesterday. This was in the K4 canoeing classification, and Mary Gallup and the crew down at Little Lake have some of that for us right now.
We're now on with the K4 re-race at this point. That's the men's kayak, 4 persons in the boat. At this point, the race has on this inside lane, we have Oakville at this point on the inside lane. The second lane is Gananoque. The third lane is North Bay, and the very outside lane then is Rideau.
I understand that one of the canoes, West Rouge, was actually disqualified from the last heat from moving into Oakville's boat. So they will not be in this race. There are only 4 craft racing rather than the 5 we've seen in previous races.
That's right. In the previous heats, the Oakville crew of Tinker, Gibb, DeBlaise, and Warrington, and the McDonald, Wallace, Anderson, Killingbeck crew from Gananoque won their respective heats.
It's very close
at this time. It appears that those two boats are leading. However, there's still quite a bit of the race to run.
Yes, North Bay crew at this point seems to be doing extremely well. They only came second in their own heat, but they're doing extremely well here right now. There seems to be a full boat length ahead at this point. Seems to be very, very close for second place, though, between Oakville and Gananoque.
They're just coming up to the finish line.
Very good lead on the far side by North Bay. Well run race, well run race.
Okay, there's some of the action that happened yesterday. That was the K4. That was down at Little Lake. And we'll be seeing more of the action. Water skiing will certainly be taking the front stage in our coverage tomorrow, right here on the 1986 Ontario Summer Games. Cricket is another one of the sports that many people don't know a whole lot about. A little bit earlier in our coverage, we did have the opportunity to talk to George Gall and Paul Wilson, and they did their best to explain the situation. But cricket is a senior men's open, and actually it is the only sport in the Summer Games that is open in age categories. And games are played at Trinity College in Port Hope. So right now we're going to another feature on cricket with George Gall.
Perhaps now I could explain to the viewers some aspect of the equipment that cricket players use. This is Intisam Hussain, who is dressed ready to go as a batsman. And this obviously is his bat, which you will see is flat on one side and rounded on the other, and he will hit it with the flat side. Also, a pair of pads, which with the speed of these bowlers really protects your legs and ankles and are a very necessary piece of equipment. A pair of batting gloves, which if you get hit on the hands, on the fingers with this hard ball, hurts a lot and will break fingers, so you need batting gloves which are padded and give you protection from that. Up here, he obviously has a helmet, and although helmets were not very common some 10 years ago, they are now very much a part of a batsman equipment, and this has been brought about by the fast bowlers in some of the West Indies teams who are very difficult to play and bowl balls term bouncers, with the ball coming up head high. Now I'm sure Intisam here to deal with that, you play a hook shot, but if you miss it, it does cause problems if you don't wear a helmet. That basically is his equipment. You can see a white shirt, a white pair of flannels, and cricket boots, which should have a hard toe on. But that basically then is a cricket batsman's equipment.
Thank you very much. That was Paul Wilson, actually, out at Trinity College School in Port Hope. And Paul, by the way, is the athletic director here at Trent University in the very building that we are sitting in right now and where many of the sporting events are taking place. And Paul is one of the many volunteers who is helping out with our television coverage. McLean Hunter Cable TV and staff people are all here, and that's how we're providing our 12 hours of coverage today and tomorrow. Well, it's been a great day.
It's been crazy trying to get everything in, and I'm glad that our viewers have stuck with us, and hopefully they're getting the information that they need. I do have a few more scores for you, as we don't have too much more time. I'd like to get them in if I could. Water skiing, the juvenile boys jump. Matthew Reaney took first place in that event, with Jeremy Kovac in second and Doug Ross in third place. More water skiing action, the senior men's tricks. Harold Townsend from Belleville took first place. Jim Stacey from Mississauga was second, and Tim Hansen from Rice Lake finished in third place. Girls basketball scores today. Sault Ste. Marie Sudbury defeated Ottawa Kingston Cornwall area with a tight game, 82-81. That game went 5 minutes into overtime. They had a tie score of 71-71 after regulation time. Boys basketball, Brampton Hamilton defeated the London Windsor team, a score of 83-81, another close game, and it was very close in the second heat. Lacrosse, the Hamilton All-Stars defeated the Whitby Peterborough team, a score of 18-3. In lacrosse, the Zone 9 team scorers were Cam Bomberry, Pete Skyle, and Jim Scully. And in Zone 6, the scorers were Wayne Grant, Adam Fott, and Dan McComb. In field hockey women's tournament, Central West, the Oakville team defeated the Toronto team a score of 4-0. A nice rivalry between those two areas that are so close together. Some scores: Fiona Heaton scored 2 goals in that game. There was a scoreless tie between Oakville and Ottawa in women's field hockey as well, and those teams will be continuing play tomorrow. Softball men's teams, or softball men's games. I was going to say final, but I don't want to make it happen if it hadn't actually happened. Mountain defeated Springfield a score of 3-1. They'll have more games tomorrow as well. Some finals, actual finals in the track and field events. John David Dorman took the boys' discus 40.14 meters, followed in second place by James Fahey, and in third place, Michael Chitaronia. And maybe on that fine name, I'll leave the standings as they are. I do apologize if your name's been mispronounced, but we're doing the best we can, and I think you know who you are. We're really pleased for some of those finals.
It really is a great opportunity to provide the TV coverage of the games to people all over the province, and we really do hope you enjoyed it. We've tried our best to get to all the sports, to give you as much live action as we can, as much of the playoff action as we can, and I think tomorrow will be the key day, because the medal rounds and the championship rounds and the finals all have to be wrapped up by tomorrow afternoon. The closing ceremonies are set for about 4:45 tomorrow afternoon. We hope to have these on. So that's it for today. We'll see you again tomorrow. For Elaine LaChapelle, I'm J. Murray Jones. Thank you for watching.
You've been watching live coverage of the 1986 Ontario Summer Games from Peterborough, Ontario. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. for our final day of coverage.